Hey there, this is Kevin Depari again, 12th Benedict, and in this chance I'm about to explain you some of something historical. It's about the RMS rebellion and up- upheavals which occurred in 1948 to 1965. So first of all, it's about the term national integration. According to Myron Weiner, national integration implies avoidance of divisive moments that would balkanize the nation and presence of attitudes throughout the society that gives preference to national and public interest as distinct from parochial interest. And the second of all is the term separatism. Basically, in a society, there are a group of people that may have ideas noticeably different from the others, or moreover, different from a large group of people, a larger group of people. These people are sometimes called the majority. Recognizes that their ideas are different. Very often, they also want autonomy, self-determination, and perhaps secession and independence from the main group. This advocacy of a state of political, ethical, tribal, religious, racial, or governmental gender separation from the larger group is the definition of the word separatism. As you can see from the word ethical, tribal, religious, racial, governmental, or general separation. The word separate. And in the beginning of 1947, there was also a change of strategy of the National Communist Movement, which was led by this so-called president, Man of Steel. The new strategy was to divide the world into two. The first one is the imperialist, anti-democracy bloc, which was led by the US, and the second was the anti-imperialist and the democratic bloc, which was led by the USSR. To ease this implementation, they formed a Communist Information Bureau on the September 22nd, 1947 in Warsaw. The president, or the so-called Man of Steel, is none other than Joseph Stalin himself. And there was a time, back in the old days, a period of geopolitical tension between Soviet Union and the United States. The period itself is generally considered to span the 1947 Truman Doctrine to the 1991 dissolution of the Soviet Union. This event turns out to be the Cold War, or the First World War. Geopolitical strategic foreign policy pursued by the United States, and it is loosely related to the term cordon sanitaire, which was later used to describe geopolitical term of the Soviet Union in the 1940s. And a foreign policy of the United States and its allies to prevent the spread of communism after the end of World War II is none other than called by the word containment. Next up, we have the Red Army. The Red Army participates in changing the strategy of world communists, which made Communist Party all over the world change their principle. This change was also made by Indonesian Communist Party. One of the effects on Indonesia itself was evidently during the rule of Prime Minister Amir Syarifuddin, who also, in fact, held the post of Minister of Defense. He developed a military concept which modeled on the army of the Russian, or back in the days was called Soviet Union. This concept was delivered to General Sudirman and Lieutenant General Urip Sumoharjo. They refused this so-called concept because it was considered as unsuitable for the People's Security Army. Despite the refusal, he continued his plan by founding PEPOLIF, the Military Political Education, or Pendidikan Politik Militer in bahasa. An institution which gave political education to the military, which was similar to the commissariat in the armed forces of communist countries. And next, there are threats there are threats that could lead to disintegration between nations. Some cases in the past, or during the wars, show that similar potential is about to happen again. There are namely three types. This event could occur due to three factors, namely vested interest, ideology, and political preferences. Political preferences is basically just something regarding politics. So basically, it's all just about politics. It's about dominancy of which states is better than the others, or which state gets more benefit or gets the most benefit for their own selves. And ideology is based on what the countries or states believe. Different ideologies or different visions and missions could, instead of leading to to the world of prosperity, this could cause the downfall of cooperation between two countries. And vested interest is basically the same thing, similar to ideology. Whereas vested interest just focuses on what the target of the states are. Same targets, for example, country A and country B has the same vested interest, then this could cause war, or this could cause, man could say, competition between the two countries. And if not handled well, it could cause war. Next, we have the appropriate example of radical nationalists, which was back in the day classified by Lance Castle and Herbert Feith in a book called Indonesian Political Thinking from 1945 to 1969. This is the definition of PKI, or the Indonesian Communist Party, Partai Komunis Indonesia. The most appropriate example of a group of Muslim classified by Herbert Feith and Lance Castle's book, again by the same book, is NU and Masyumi. And another example of the question below states the example of Indonesia's conflicts related to ideology, such as rebellion of APRA, RMS, as discussed, and Andi Aziz. The next, we have the rebellions, which happened on 1925 to 1926, which aimed at the colonial government Banten and West Sumatra, which was led by PKI, Partai Komunis Indonesia, as mentioned earlier. Now I'm about to discuss a little bit about the background of 1948 PKI rebellion. The communist group, which underwent a change in the resistance strategy after the arrival of Indonesian communist figure or role player from Moscow, which was Musso. Next, on the 18th of September in 1948, a communist group which was based in Madiun, proclaimed the establishment of the Soviet Republic Indonesia. That was what people used to call Indonesia. Not people used to. Indonesia used to have the name Soviet Republic Indonesia due to Musso, the Russian communist, made a speech and arrived in Indonesia from Moscow. And they appointed Musso and Arif Sharifuddin as president and vice president of Indonesia. So more or less that's it that I want to cover for today. Stay tuned for more videos and goodbye.